more.
Oh, wait a minute. Wee. Okay, wait a minute. Let me check and see. Yeah, we can hear. Okay. I want to make sure we can hear. All right. All right.
Okay.
Ooh,
I'm great in
I
yourself.
feel like I just have missed you. It's been 2 weeks, two whole
Yes,
weeks. Look, it's so much has gone on in 2 weeks. And
absolutely.
my henna from Dubai is gone. All of the things. Dubai was beautiful. Um, Everybody keeps asking me, well, would you live there? Absolutely not. But it was beautiful. If I was a Dubai citizen, of course. As a citizen, no. But it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I did get to peek around in the little healthcare places. Like, well, wait a minute. Well, what? Well, it's like they're like liquor stores, healthcare centers all over the place. So
Okay.
interesting. And then we were at the AHIMA 23 conference, national conference, this past weekend. So that's why we weren't here last week. And we got a lot to talk about that. So let's get this party started. How you? But first, how are you? How you been? How's
You know, it's been being.
Oh,
It's overall it's good. I have no complaints. You
okay.
know.
Not it's been being.
Mm.
Cool. That works. Okay, well, we'll get into it. So, welcome, everybody, to our Saturday morning tea where we discuss health information, news, education. Okay, I don't know what's beeping in my house in the background. Education, certification, tips, and entrepreneurship. Um, Checkers versus chess. Uh, the drama. Uh, all the things, especially anything regarding revenue cycle at large. And as you come in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. I am Clarice Warner. I am the girl with the pearls, the founder and senior education director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. And PRN is a healthcare compliance consultancy located in Cincinnati, Ohio. Yes, the heart of it all. That specializes in revenue cycle and regulatory compliance in education. Now, let me ask you, do you know what it takes to be a certified marketable medical coder? Do you? Do you really? Have you just heard some things and folks have put some stuff in your ear and you thinking maybe, Well, let me, before I introduce my co-host, share with you some information on a free, yes, free 99 email course on the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start and scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder. So since I haven't been on Clubhouse in so long, I forgot to put the link over there, but I will put the link for the Clubhouse folks. So if you're interested in getting more information, I'll post the link at the top of the house club. I don't know what they're calling them now, whatever it is that we're in, room, whatever. And if you are joining us via YouTube, Facebook, and or who did I miss? LinkedIn. Feel free to check out the chat or the description, the video for the description for the video, and you'll find the link there. I promise you there's a lot of information, but it's close to the top. So you'll see the link in there for that. If you are interested in that free email course on the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Now, joining me today, and I've missed him so much because I just know I can hear the laughter every time something pops off. I hear the laughter and the drip of tea that would spew out of his mouth. And so I missed my co-host. I missed him. But here's my co-host, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark. Put some respect on his name, the coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and tell the world, because we're in the world now. Tell the world and all of those folks in these internet streets all about you.
Good morning, all. My name is Jesse. I live in Philadelphia. I have been in healthcare for a very long time. In 2014, I transitioned from bedside nursing to HIM, risk adjustment. Then during the pandemic in 2020, I created a company, the Coding Nurse LLC, where I help nurses and other healthcare professionals with clinical experience transition into the wonderful world of HIM.
Wait a minute. And how is that going? First of all, you have such a somber voice. Are you okay?
It's my allergies.
Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. He done dropped it several octaves and just calm and peaceful. This is not the coding nurse that I am familiar with and have grown to love throughout this time. So, okay.
That's their tech talking.
Oh, all right. Oh my goodness. Cool. Okay. Yeah, because I heard you sniffling. I'm like, oh yeah, and it is bad for folks with allergies. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. So let's see. Good morning, Vicky. She says, good morning and welcome back. Welcome. Hey, Miss Lady. Hey, Tasha. Good morning, guys. I'm glad you are both back today. Yes, we're both here today. We're glad to be here as well. Spilling all of this wonderful tea that we got going on. Lord Jesus. Okay. So let me remind you that we are in a conversation. So we bring the topics, but we are in conversation. So we are very interested to know your thoughts and opinions on all things that we bring to the table today. So if you are on Clubhouse and want to join in on the conversation, I think you can still do the come to the stage thing. I don't know. Clubhouse has changed so much, but go ahead.
Oh, speaking of Clubhouse, we do have a question from Chastity. So let me know when you want to do questions.
Okay. Well, let me get this part out so I can tell folks to raise their hand if they want to come up, or as Chastity did, you can also put your questions in the Clubhouse chat. They have a chat too. If you're shy, but you don't have to be shy. Come on in and join the conversation, because your opinion matters and is welcomed here. For my Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn friends, you all already know what to do. And you do it. And you do it well. You use the chat for your comments. Now, if you have a specific question, please type Q first so we know that it is a question for us and we don't miss it. Again, for those who are just joining us or watching the replay today, we are talking about whether the acquisition of HCPro from AHIMA was a chess or a checkers move. And then also I want to share information for the Data for Better Health video that was released and other things. Okay, Miss Chastity, what we got going?
All right. So Miss Chastity's question was, please give input for CPCAs gaining contract or temp roles.
CPCA gaining contract or temp roles. So I mentioned, Chastity, I don't know if you're on Facebook, but there is a group called the American Coders. I'm gonna butcher it. Let me think. There's an American Coder group, and I'll look for it while we're talking, on Facebook, that always post jobs. They're continuously posting jobs. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And they post positions. Oh, look at that. They post positions for folks that also jobs for American medical coders. There we go. So it's the Jobs for American Medical Coders Facebook group. and they're always posting positions for everyone. They're looking, they ask questions, but they're posting positions. The sunshinebilling.com company is looking for, well, they're a billing company. They have positions for CPCAs. They have positions for seasoned folks. They have folks who are working in various sectors. So DME, inpatient, outpatient, emergency, all of the things. I don't know who all these people are, but the folks just come in here and tell you, hey, we looking for XYZ, and then provide you the information on who to send the resume to. The Crafty Coder says there's also, she said there's also the Judge Group. Is it called the Judge Group?
Yeah.
And CSI that I want to say hire, they hire CPCAs. So those are some additional. Who, and good morning, Renita. See, I'm seeing everybody. And then Crafty Coder, you stay where you at. You can, if you got another device, go on over there in Clubhouse, but you stay where you at right here. Okay. So those are a couple of places where you can get information on folks that hire CPCAs. I hope that answered your question. All right. Okay. Woo, it's a lot going on. It's a lot. But let's start out. And I've missed this a whole lot with my church announcements. Yes. Where's my music? And where's my music? I needed this fan when I was down there at AHIMA 23. I promise you, because I probably would have waved it a couple times. Like, woo, Lord! Don't forget me.
There you go.
Yes. Find some more. I'm looking for some more organ music. Okay. So our church announcement, getting from the horse's mouth, and actually we got this information I sit in the House of Delegates for AHIMA, so we got this information a little bit earlier. Even though they did not discuss it, they glossed over it for real in the House of Delegates, because one, it wasn't something that we could vote on. It was already decided. It was just informational. It was told to us, look, this is what we're doing, period, point blank. So what was told to us? And so if you are a member of AHIMA who has any type of credential, the new regulations that are coming out is that you will be required to get 40% of your credentials from AHIMA. Yeah, look at your face, sir. Fix your whole face. See, that's why I tell people, my friends across the room, because they be like, and I'd be like, please. So they're requiring you to receive 40%, and not from your CA, not from any ACEP approved vendor, but from AHIMA proper. You will have to get 40%. They had several education sessions throughout the conference related to this, and folks were on fire. When I tell you, it was probably better than the House of Delegates itself, but folks were on fire. Were on fire. And one of the things that folks had issue with was, I can't think of, I think he was the vice president over certification or credentialing. Maybe it was credentialing. Anyway, he kept, and it was in their materials, rigor, quality, and I can't think of the third term he was saying, but he kept, that was his mantra. Well, we need to ensure that all of the education meets the standards of quality, rigor, and something else. I want to say consistency, but I'm not sure that's the word. That AHIMA holds true. Why that man say that? I don't know, because they went in for the kill. So, as a professional member or a premier member of AHIMA, you get these quote unquote free CEUs that they provide for you. These free CEUs can be obtained by reviewing or looking at materials that AHIMA offers. Their webinars or videos or some even white papers, different things that they allow you to look at to get those credits. Well, ma'am and sirs, let me just be one of the first people to tell you that information that they give you is trash. Trash. And the reason why I say it's trash, because it might have been valid and relevant back 10 years ago. That's how old a lot of these things are that they're promoting and giving you opportunities to get these CEUs. They don't offer any current information. And so a lot of the people were saying, where's the new information? I can't send my people to get information or these CEUs on this if it's old and it's outdated. This is not helping me and my staff. So one of the more pointed questions was, does AHIMA go through the same rigor and quality checks from ASAP for their content? Mum was the word. You could have heard crickets. Well, well, maybe. And then it was like, well, we can double check with the ASAP people, or we can double check with somebody else. And they were like, absolutely not. They said that they needed he wanted to reach out and ask the ASAP people. And they were like, no. You're the person here over credentialing. You're the VP of credentialing. You should have knowledge of this. You're speaking in front of the room. You're here. So you should be the one to have knowledge of this. And so they were just like, no, sir, and no, sir. So that was one of the things. The other thing that folks were all up in arms, particularly the component associations, a lot of them use the same speakers, who provide the same content that they do at AHIMA events. They'll just come down to their state or neighboring states or whatever state that may invite them and provide the information. So why is it good enough for AHIMA, but not good enough for the state, where it may or may not be a little cheaper? So that was the other thing, because AHIMA wants you to spend premium dollars for a lot of their content, but not necessarily want to provide the same rigor and quality that they are expecting for others. So so she says, so they out here with the outdated info saying we got to get 40% from them. Never mind. Absolutely. So that was one of the hot things that came out during the conference that you'll see more and more information about. I promise you. They were even though he did have some things that he needed to take back and talk to folks about. Yeah, they're definitely changing that. And so they use a lot of consultants to come in and review their things. And again, it was the consultants said that looking at other organizations that offer CEUs, for the most part, some of the CEUs, they offer more, or they have the same model where they have to get so many CEUs from certain organization, from their parent core organization, and then other CEUs elsewhere. So it's going to be real interesting what this looks like, what changes they're making. And right. She said, are the consultants gatekeeper or Karens? Because what, ma'am, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then real brief from the House of Delegates meeting. So I mentioned a while back for you to get an opportunity if you're involved with your state or your component association to reach out to them and find out what is happening as far as the changes in the bylaws. There were 3 changes that were before us.
To bring your friends on.
The first one was for the international folk members of AHIMA, whether or not they needed to declare a component association. And even though they don't have to, they can. And they didn't necessarily put the language in the bylaw to state or inform them. Somehow, I guess miraculously, they're supposed to know that they can choose a component association because remember, they're dollars. So if you are a member of AHIMA, a certain portion of your membership money goes to your component association to help support that organization. But if you don't declare, then there's no money that would go to that particular. So they don't tell them that, but they have the opportunity to do that. Well, that measure or that bylaw change was approved. The second one was around having the finance committee and the audit committee of AHIMA join, and then have the treasurer be the person who oversees the joint committee. Everybody was like, absolutely not. Every audit committee and finance, they sit in separate buckets in most organizations. Of course, they were coming with, well, our consultant said that according to their research and their knowledge of member organizations that are similar to AHIMA, this is a trend, this is what they're doing, blah, 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 blah. They voted that down. That didn't happen. That failed. And the big one that we talked about was the change in term for the board of directors. So they were proposing that board of directors have 2 consecutive 3-year terms. So if you are nominated for the board of directors, or if you're running for the board of directors, you have to agree to a possibility of a 3-year term or a 6-year term, because you'll do 2 3-year terms. And reason being was oftentimes there's no they couldn't finish. So say you started an initiative or you started a project. Well, you're just really getting you're just really into to whatever that initiative is, kind of halfway into your term, and then you have to go. That was one issue. The other issue that the members had was, and let me back up. And in order to stay on for this additional 3-year term, the board was creating some sort of evaluation, and the board would determine whether or not you stayed, even though the members were the ones who initially put the person in on the board, because it's voted. You are voted by the members. And so folks were, again, up in arms because it felt like they were taking away the members' voice for this additional term. And the folks didn't have any documentation to say, well, what does the evaluation look like? Who's all involved in that? Are we part of that evaluation process? Yada, yada, yada. Well, that one, I think because folks was like, we already know what we want to vote. But I think had it went for a full vote, it probably would have got shut down. Of course, it didn't happen. What they did was they referred it back to the committee to give the committee an opportunity to come better. Basically, come with your stuff. This wasn't right. You didn't have the information about the evaluation. You couldn't provide substantial information and data on, some of the claims that you made. you didn't, again, you were hitting folks with the consultants from who looked at various member organizations, but then they couldn't even provide who the member organizations were that they looked at to compare, so on and so forth. So they were like, most folks was like, they were ready to put it on the shelf automatically, but folks thought, okay, well, at least give them an opportunity. So this will go back. Was referred back to committee, and it'll come back next year for a vote. So that'll be real interesting. So those were the church announcements. Did you have any comments? Anybody else have any church announcements? Okay, so what happened to my room and where did you go?
Clarice, I can't tell you. I was trying to. I can't even get back in. I can't find anything. Then somebody's talking when I'm trying to log in. I can't find anything. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
I went to check something on my phone, and when I tried to come back in, I couldn't. I don't know what's going on.
Let me see if I can find you and add you in. I see. Okay. Did you go? Oh, so did you go to the Certified Marketable Medical Coders room?
I can't even find it. I just, all I see is like the whole list of all of our previous rooms. But let me go to rooms. Because I went to the search and I put in the Saturday morning tea, and I put, oh, maybe I gotta go to houses. I don't even see it.
So what are you? You got me, sir. Okay. Well, I can close this because I don't know what happened.
Yeah, because I don't want to.
I'm looking. I said, "Well, he done disappeared." Okay.
Because this is juicy right here.
He done disappeared. Okay. So, any comments, questions, concerns? What's happening?
I don't know what the end game is, but I know that there is one. And I'm just not looking, because I didn't like that whole 6-year thing anyway, because it's giving me, very, mean girlish type of vibes, and so I didn't like that. And then now that they're coming with this education, and I do agree. I mean, because like when you are a member, you get those. It's a waste. I don't even use mine, like those tokens or whatever. I don't even use mine, because when you look at what's available, it's like, really?
Right. And I was like, well, I don't want to look at any of this. What, like,
Exactly.
What? You like scroll up, scroll left, right, whatever. No. And
exactly.
You would think that you would want your people to be cutting edge, in the know, with the most recent, most current information. And that needs to be on all sides. I'll veer out to say, because they talked a lot about advocacy. Let me just speak on the advocacy group at AHIMA. When I tell you, folks need to be watching the other departments at AHIMA, need to take note, because they're very strong. They provide information. They disseminate information on a monthly basis. They're providing the information on what's going on at the House and the Senate, and who to watch and who to reach out to, and this, that, and the third. They provide action information. They got a newsletter that they came out with. They update. They're providing you what's going on. We need to see that same type of advocacy, because their work is more along with what's happening in Congress, we need that same energy to be part of the advocacy pieces for the profession. And that we had a wonderful conversation about that as well, because folks are really just saying AHIMA, I think because AHIMA took their eyes off of the prize at one point, because they were primarily, all health information and all things health information. And it kind of veered here and looked over there and, well, wait a minute, we could do this too. And we could do this too. And let's do this. And let's have a certification for that, whatever, that they've muddied the waters. And so they have an identity crisis. Who are you? Now, they did give, and I was looking for it and I could not find it. I don't know if maybe it's not available yet, but they showed this video at the end of the conference, which was really, really, really great. And I was like, oh, well, this will help. And hopefully it's something that they will pass on to the HRs and hiring decision-making people of the world to get a better understanding of what the skills are and what we bring to the table as health information professionals. So I thought that video was well done. But back to what I was saying, really the advocacy group at AHIMA is just above par. They provide timely information. They keep you abreast. I think now they even have these little, like, I won't call them coffee chats, but they have like these other little things where they bring speakers in and they bring guests, like how I learned about the lady at CMS. They brought her in to talk about, or from OIG, I'm sorry, who was interested in, well, if you know of some things, like really, she was asking you to drop a dime, but if you know of some things, here's my contact number. But it was beneficial to me to know that here's somebody at the DOJ or OIG who is interested in learning of what types of things we look for, what types of things we audit for, what types of concerns that we may possibly have that can be maybe a concern for them to look across the board, and then we could do something about it. But I thought that, the rest of AHIMA needs to take note, period, to their advocacy group. That's my plug for them. Even though I love advocacy, but that's neither here nor there. I think they do a wonderful job in providing information to everybody. Okay. Woo, ciao. So folks let me just say this, even the announcement about the AHIMA purchasing HCPro, folks were in arms about that, because it was like, well, why did I have to hear about that from somebody else? Why didn't I hear about that directly from AHIMA? So folks were like, they didn't get the message. They sent out an email. I did see the email. They sent out an email to everybody, but I don't know where folks fell into that email dissemination, because some folks actually heard it from HCPro because of their affiliations with that. But here is the let me see if I can pull this up. Here is the information here. So this was the press release that came out on October the 3rd that says, AHIMA today announced that it acquired HCPro and its associated brands from Simplify Compliance. HCPro is an industry leader in integrated information, education, training, and consulting products and services in healthcare compliance and revenue cycle management. The acquisition broadens the reach of both organizations. I'm not going to read all of this to you. Some of the HCPro family of brands include Decision Health, Association for Clinical Documentation Integrity Specialists, or ACTIS, the National Association for Healthcare Revenue Integrity, I don't know what they call that, and the Association of Home Care Coding and Compliance. It also says the terms of the acquisition were not disclosed. Now, one of the things that folks were asking in our world was they want to know how much they paid for it, number one. Of course, mum's the word on that, but if you are involved, they have to show their financials next year. So you'll find out next year. Just stay tuned. The other thing was, this has been going on for a while. So the interim CEO hinted that several years ago, they reached out to the Simplify, whatever I said their names were, to see if they started selling off. So the Simplify group collects other organizations. I think it's a venture capitalist group, whatever. And so, you know them, they acquire, they get rid of. They acquire, they get rid of. So AHIMA approached them years ago and was like, well, if you're ever interested in blah, 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 you know, getting rid of this, that, and the third, hey, we over here. They were like, oh, absolutely not. We're holding on. We got this, that, and the third. Well, lo and behold, they came knocking. Hey, I remember talking to you all a long time ago and you all had an interest. Do you still have an interest? They were like, absolutely. And lo and behold, that's how that. And so this was in Wilesia's term, actually, because I think they even, you know, credited her with having the foresight regarding this acquisition as well. So interesting. Now, there was this LinkedIn post by Dr. Wait, let me share my screen first before I get into it. Okay. Share. Okay. From Dr. Reamer, who said HIMA has acquired HCPro and its associated brands. What will this mean for Actis and CDI? So Dr. Ronald Hirsch, who they work together, they broadcast together on ICD monitor or rack monitor. I'm sorry. I guess they do on ICD-10 monitor too. But he also said, don't forget NARI. I don't know if that's if they call it that or not, but the revenue integrity professionals. And then he also says that they publish books, which they do. So here is the interesting one. So Lori Prescott, who is the interim director of Actis, says, no big changes. We will continue to provide a voice in the industry. Our products and services will continue. And then the director of programming said, we're excited to continue Actis's mission. Somebody said consolidation, as long as Optum doesn't now buy AHIMA. Somebody throwing stuff out here in the atmosphere. And it says AHIMA is paying for, quote, sins of the past, letting CDI pass it by. This makes sense for both organizations. CDI will be better for it, I think. Maybe it will help bring down the cost of some of their educational programs, although very high quality. And every day, CDI isn't going to spend $200 to $250 on a single educational program that yields 2 credit hours, no matter how good it is. Dexter DaCosta says, interesting, peer associations should be independent and not influenced by the ownership company. Actis is a community of CDI professionals. Hopefully, this accelerates greater collaboration with our AHIMA coding partners, as documentation is not a CDI or coding or physician problem, but it needs a collaborative partnership to solve industry problems aided by technology and analytics. And then somebody asked, well, what does this mean for the duplicate CDI certification with CDIP and CCDS? So the other little bit of tea that I will spill is Of course, folks were asking about this left and right, and the interim CEO had a moment, and she said, well, right now, we don't know them. We don't know them well enough. So before anything, so stay tuned and be prepared. Before anything can jump off, we need to know what's going on. We know that they are profitable, which is why we purchased them. But as far as all of this other noise and questions, we don't know them yet, is what she said. We need to get in there and see what's going on before we decide what it is that we gonna do with them. Mm-hmm.
Is this the part where I can jump in?
You can jump in whenever you like, sir, because I'm grabbing my tea right now.
I have never been so excited to watch some foolishness go down. Because when I tell you it is getting ready to be a cat fight to end all cat fights, and I am so here for it, because the CCDS and the CDIP could not be more different.
Mm-hmm.
They are like night and freaking day. How you can kind of come up with a happy medium, I want to see it. Because I can tell you right now, it's years off. Because it's going to be, as one of my middle school teachers used to say, it's going to be a whole lot of gnashing of the teeth and the beating of the breastplate. Because
between the gatekeepers, because Lord,
oh yes, and I'm so here for it. It is going. It's going to be stray hair everywhere. Because it's going to be some hair pulling.
Oh my God.
I'm just so excited because you know how I feel about the gatekeepers. And this is really going to be a clash of the titans. It's going to be gatekeeper versus gatekeeper, and I'm so here for it. But at the end of the day, AHIMA's going to win. I will say that.
Uh-oh. We got our bets in. We can get our bets in. No kidding. I think the opportunity for a more collaborative, robust, and this is just around CDI. And I guess we even have to flip it on its head for compliance as well, with like some of the decision health products and some of the things that compliance professionals use too. I think the opportunity exists. I think what's the issue is going to come is, well, who's going to be at the helm of those quote unquote opportunities, or you know, of how they move forward, or the collaboration. And I think that's to your point, where each gatekeeper who singularly have run their show may have problems, and may be like, you know what, I'm not fooling with them, this, that, or the third.
Because do you remember years ago when you looked at the requirements for the CDIP from AHIMA, they used to specifically say RN. In the past couple of years, they took that off. And in hindsight, as I'm thinking about it, that could have just been their nod for Actus to kind of like, okay, well, y'all work with the RNs and we'll work with everybody else. That's what I think. Because why did they take it off? If it was, if you were eligible because you were an RN, because it specifically had RN. Now that, and that language they took that out years ago, a couple years ago. So
you had to be an RN to be eligible for to take the certification.
The CDIP, yes.
Really?
That was all. They didn't say anything else. Because you know, of course, you know, because the underlying is, you know, medical terminology, anatomy, physiology, blah blah blah. So I thought that was interesting, and then now with this news coming out, I'm like, now I wonder how they're going to pull that up or pull that back in and make it one big happy family. Because also, not only because I thought about also like when that last organization you mentioned, the Association of Home Care Code, I have my HCSD and my HCSO. It's through them. So now AHIMA owns them. Now it would be from an AHIMA standpoint, because AHIMA does nothing about home health.
No.
It would be a great opportunity if they could introduce auditing, or even, just introduce home health as an option to their membership.
Yes.
Because home health coding has always been this thing off to the side.
It's like long-term care as well. It's like
exactly.
Like it has morphed into its own little secret society. Like
Exactly.
you got folks, you don't even know who to what, you just kind of fell into it, and y'all secretly meet and talk about it.
And I have to honestly say, as an organization, they are really good. Like you don't have to, and with them you have to renew annually.
Okay.
And you have to take 2 assessments, plus have CEUs. Okay. But you can they have a monthly publication. You don't have to spend any money for their CEUs. Because it's all they provide enough free ones. And I haven't paid for, and I've been certified with them for like a couple of years now. I haven't paid for any CEUs. And the assessments, of course, are free. And the assessments are really good.
Oh, that was another thing. The assessments are coming back.
Okay.
For the CEUs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's coming back. But go ahead.
And I think that if it's done correctly, it will elevate the entire HIM profession, I think, if it's done right.
Yes. My concern would be who's going to do that to make sure it's right? Because things haven't been right in a while now. So are y'all getting more consultants to come in and tell y'all how to do this and make this right? I don't know. But I want to be optimistic, because I agree. This is a chess move for AHIMA. If there's ever any doubt which way this falls, this is definitely a chess move. Now, prayerfully, they know how to play the game of chess. They know the rules of the game of chess. You're not just putting a real pretty glass and marble chessboard out. Hopefully, you know how to move those pieces to get to the end result.
Well, they clearly have an end game. We just don't know what it is. They have one. They wouldn't have spent this money if they didn't. So they know what they want. It's just, I think they're just trying to see how they can parse it out to the public.
Oh, and so and all of the employees, I think there was 100 and something, employees. So of course, when HCPro, they're keeping the name, they're keeping all of those things, but those people are now hired under AHIMA, as a result of their acquisition. So that was another little piece as well.
Well, that's for now.
Again, until they get to see, we don't really know who they are. We don't really know what this and the third, So it's going to be real interesting. It's going to be real interesting.
I mean, and what I find it very, I mean, I get it, it's corporate speak, but how can they talk about, because, for years they've talked about how close of a relationship AHIMA and actors have had. Now they're trying to act like they just, they're adopting some daggone Lithuanian child they never saw before.
Sir.
We don't know them. What do you mean? You put out these practice briefs, and you
white papers and all of the things.
Y'all were just
and maybe at a certain level they know, but those corporate levels, they don't know nothing about them. Okay. Maybe it's at the corporate levels. And then again, what acquisitions can be tough and rough for some folks. So some are, some are yours. I don't know. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll definitely see. The other thing I wanted to wait a minute. Here we got a comment. Crafty Coder says, I just want to say this. At the rate that new coders are coming in trying to find the highest paying job, passing all these tests and still can't code, it is atrocious and getting out of hand. Yeah. Yeah. And I think part of part of the shift to making sure 40% of the education or your CEUs or whatever comes from AHIMA, I think the thought is that they are the organization. They are the premier place where folks are looking to say, oh, if you are AHIMA certified, you are this, that, you are well versed and well capable and all of that. And their thing is, we don't want to jeopardize our standing in that with other folks providing subpar quality or rigorous information and education. So I get that, but you also have to make sure your house is clean and that you are providing in your own house internally that same level of quality product that you are expecting and requiring others to have, so that you can stand firmly in, we are, the best educational. If you have AHIMA credentials, you got some good folks coming in the door. On the other hand, and it's coding across the board, because AHIMA is not the only coding certifying body in the world, and so everybody's not learning, and they're different. Remember, AHIMA started out strictly about hospitals. So hospital organizations were like, we don't want anything but AHIMA credential folks in our walls, because they knew they brought the quality as it relates to hospital inpatient coding. Maybe not as much as for like professional coding, because that wasn't their jam. Their focus was inpatient hospital. Well, as healthcare has transitioned from inpatient to outpatient and professional services, they've had to adopt, they've had to pivot. And again, that's where their eye on the prize was the hospital thing. But now all of these other things are out here and available, and they are needing to pivot. And so they don't have, I don't know if the strength of, well, by now it should be, let me just say that, because that was a long time ago. So by now they should be at least at the same quality as others. But then you got the AAPC, and folks is just out here trying to pass a test. It's one thing to be able to pass a test. It's something else to be able to code. I say that all the time, because you can study for the test. We talk about that even with education with our children. They're teaching you the test. Teaching you the test is not teaching you to code. They're two different things. And understanding all the nuances and the whys and all of those things are part of the skill of coding. Not necessarily just teaching you how to be successful in. Now, folks hopefully can do both within their programs. And that's really one of the ideal ways to go. But there's a lot of folks out here just trying to teach you the test. And so when you come to that job and you have to take that jobs assessment and you can't pass it, that's why. You don't know how to code. You don't know coding. For real, you just know how to pass your CPC exam. That's different. Put that out there. Spill that tea.
But you know what though? But it wasn't until I started working as a tutor at the college here in Philadelphia that I really saw what was wrong. Coding is not taught properly.
Mm-mm.
And if it's not, because they don't teach the guidelines.
Nope.
And I don't think that it is possible for somebody to learn two code sets at the same time, not effectively. There's too many twists and turns. And you have to really do a deep dive. You can learn once you learn one code set, you can learn another one.
You can.
If you learn it properly.
If you learn it properly.
Because you understand the guidelines, you understand that a guideline is driving what you're doing.
Exactly.
So, but if you don't get that foundation, which I find that's the problem, the way it's currently being taught, they don't get a solid foundation, which is why when they go into the workforce and they get on these jobs and they have to read a chart, break it down, and come up with something that's not a multiple choice, they can't do it.
Because they're taught the test. Right. They're taught to be successful for the test. Let's see. Crafty Coder says something has to happen to bring the integrity back, assessments, all of that. Well, yeah, I know one of the things that I mentioned when Mr. Jesse was speaking earlier, AHIMA is bringing back the assessments for the CEUs. Assessments should prove you know what you're doing. Absolutely. Because be for real, anybody can pass the test, but applying it practically is way different. Yes, and we've always said, what you learn in a classroom setting is different than your real world setting. And you have to prepare. You have to prepare your students for the real world setting, period. Point blank. Tasha says, coding is a skill that can be learned, but it also depends on the way an individual. It's a mindset that some coders have that can't be learned. Yes. Crafty Coder agrees. She also says, I know a guy who has a bazillion certifications, like 15 at least, and a master's degree, but can't code critical care. Bless his heart. Oh, yeah. So it's going to be real interesting. Oh, wait, here's another. Sorry. Everybody's coming in. I appreciate my mentor who has taught me the long way to code with guidelines, other than just pass the test. Yes, I still must know and understand it to be marketable. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you got folks that, well, what is a guideline? Excuse me? Where did you come from? Where did you come from? Bless their hearts. And they're doing them a disservice. They're doing them a disservice.
Because even like when I'm teaching my students, like, I don't just ask them what's the answer. I ask them, tell me why it's the right answer. And then show me exactly, because it's not like, well, because see, this is how I think. Oh, no, and then I thought what you're supposed to say is there's a coding guideline that says this and this are causal relationships, and because they're causal relationships, this gets coded first. That's why it's the right answer.
Period.
Period.
Period. Yeah. I don't know. I just we talk about the healthcare or the revamping of healthcare. All of this needs a revamping.
All right. Crafty Coder is mentoring Renita. That's cool.
Hey. Yay. Congratulations. That's what's up. Yay.
Yes. Each one teach one.
Amen. Love it. Amen. So this more to come. It's going to be an interesting ride. Be prepared. Oh, Lord. And we even have more. We'll probably talk about this in the coming weeks, because let me just tell you, the whole AI thing, I think at every other session we talked about AI. I don't think we went 5 minutes without somebody saying something about AI. So, we have lots of tea to spill related to that. It's crazy. But before we go, I know we're close to the top of the hour. I did want to show the Data for Better Health promo video. So, AHIMA is, we're about quality. We're about health equity as well. And the lady who's over, or who ran and put together kind of the advocacy group, is also over Data for Better Health. So I am encouraged that this would be along that same vein. But let me show you this video real quick. Okay, also share audio. I think this will go. Oh, ready.
For too long, access to quality health care and the ability to live a healthy life has not been equitable. Where a person lives, their race, their income level should not determine how long a person lives or be a barrier to achieving optimal health. But it does, and it is. Health information professionals have the tools to address health equity and help improve health outcomes. The data we collect and analyze is that powerful tool. Introducing Data for Better Health. Data for Better Health aims to increase awareness of how collecting, using, and sharing data related to social determinants of health can and will help improve the health of our patients and our communities. As the leading voice and authority in health information, AHIMA is uniquely positioned to lead this effort. We can't do it alone, but we can start. Will you join us? Learn more at dataforbetterhealth.com.
Yes. So
I got to run to the door and get the delivery. I'll be back.
yeah. Yes, sir. Yes. So again, here is the one of the new initiatives, hopefully to guide folks in coding, particularly the social determinants of health, and helping us get better data from the documentation of the clinicians that we code for. So I'm encouraged. I'm excited. Hopefully they will. Well, CMS actually just recently put some information in the final rule about social determinants of health and coding for those. And I think there was some reimbursement things tied to it. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't gotten down to those pages yet. But I think that's the goal, is to tie, because folks won't do anything unless there's a dollar figure attached to it. So hopefully providing, even though if you think about it on the grand scheme of things, if you have a person who has issues related to their healthcare compliance because of some of the social determinants of health, then you understand why additional resources and additional things are needed and necessary. And the type of or quality of care that you're providing, or the higher acuity of care that you're providing, is related to those social determinants. So, I mean, if you think about it, yeah, you may see them more often. Yeah, it may be a higher level of service that you're providing, et cetera, et cetera. So you, quote unquote, benefit that way. But, folks, like, I'm not putting additional code anywhere unless I know a dollar is associated. So hopefully this changes some of the mindset around that and get folks who won't code without a dollar engaged to do so. So,
but what I think will help that is, just like now, and since October 1st, homelessness is a CC.
yes,
I think as they tie more social determinants of health to, increasing, because everything is about, like you said, maximizing the revenue or increasing the SOI or the ROM.
mm-hmm.
So if they tie more of them to those, I guess measures, it'll pay off.
Yeah, and I agree. So they started with the homeless and the homeless population in Baltimore. We got to talk about. I got to do a whole brief on Baltimore. Lord Jesus, why somebody get mugged? Look, that was at the conference. That's a whole other conversation. But yes, it's a lot going on. I felt like I was in The Wire.
Oh,
I saw some row houses that were boarded up. I was like, it's bodies in there. It's bodies in there. I'm sorry.
Can I tell you, that is one show. I used to live in Baltimore. That is one show that I can tell you it was not an exaggeration.
Ooh. Yeah, seeing it firsthand, I was like, yeah.
And you seeing it firsthand in 2023. I'm talking about like
And during that time,
1999.
yes.
Yeah.
And I was scared, nervous then. So they kept telling everybody, don't walk alone, and I'm hard-headed. I'm like, I like to walk. I'm walking. I done walked at night, everything, whatever. My husband was like, let me tell you something. I had to get a whole tongue lasher for my husband. Like, let me tell you something. I was like, okay. So then I started calling the Lyfts and Ubers. Like, okay. I was only like 2 blocks away. And it's different. We right there in the Inner Harbor. It's beautiful. It's all kinds of stuff. You walk 2 blocks, it's a whole different world than where you come from. I said, and my hotel was like 3 blocks out. I said, oh, okay, it's different. Well, this woman got mugged at 7:30 a.m. from an adjacent hotel to the convention center. Yeah. I said, oh, they not playing with y'all. So all of a sudden, they had armed security around the convention center for the rest of our time there. So I was like, is this a myth? They was like, no, this actually really happened. I mean, and it went around like wildfire. Everybody was partnering up and this and the third. It was crazy. But yeah. All right. Well, we got a meeting after the meeting, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, child. Again, if you want to be in on the meetings after the meetings, join us on our Patreon. Information is in the description for that as well. This has been a good comeback, if you will, since we haven't been here for a while. So thank you all again for joining us at the Saturday morning tea or checking out the replay. Let me just ask, was the tea spilled today? Was it spilled today?
Absolutely. More to come.
And more to come. Follow the tea. Hopefully it don't dry up. Let me put a whole bunch of sugar in it or honey or something so it won't dry up. It'll stay there. If this information was valuable for you, help us share this message with others. You can share the video. You can subscribe to the channel. You can like the video. You can comment and send your comments to others. Let folks know. We only have so much reach, but each one reaching one is how we get more folks to be involved in our conversations and in what's happening in the world of health information, revenue cycle, compliance, and all of the things. Don't forget, as you leave, to hit the thumbs up or like button, and also check out the Coding Nurse channel on YouTube. Show some love over there as well. So this has been a great session today. Also, you can follow us, because we're out here on LinkedIn and Facebook as well, too. So you can hit join or subscribe or connect or all of the things on all of the channels, all of the platforms. We're here and we're here to provide you with some information, some food for thought, and some tea. So thank you for joining. And remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Until next time, take care.
Bye-bye, everybody.